So, as the organizational psychology consultant coming into this large organization and running an audit on all of these things and looking into the fewer hours that the employees are clocking in, I would look at a couple of key indicators on why this is happening, right? The first thing that I would look at is the technology that they're using to track. Right. If they're tracking hourly, there are things like Paycor and Paycom where employees clock in and out of the system. I'd first check all of those logs to see, hey, are they clocking in on time? Are they clocking out early? Are they taking longer lunch breaks, right? These things really matter. Or are they accidentally not clocking in at all? Because simple data metrics like this could significantly affect the actual cause of this problem. So that would be the first thing that I would audit because sometimes that's just user error, might have forgotten or it's not working for them properly. And so I would take a look at that before anything else. But the first thing I would look into is, or the second thing I would look into are unclear job expectations, right? So when expectations for hours worked or productivity aren't communicated clearly, this could really significantly hurt these teams, and employees may develop their own interpretations of what's actually acceptable if there aren't clear communicated boundaries there. The second thing I would look into are signs of low employee engagement or burnout. So, after running a survey and tracking all of the employees' responses, if I can see an employee feels disengaged, overworked, or disconnected from their leaders, it's not super uncommon for them to do what we call quiet quitting, right? And so, creating counterproductive behaviors like absenteeism, reduced effort, or again, quiet quitting to emerge, right? This is actually very common in the remote environment world, especially with those tracking softwares that aren't always reliable. The third thing I would investigate is potential policy misalignment, right? So, for example, if the organization has flexible work policies without clear accountability systems, employees might be able to just exploit the flexibility entirely and not necessarily out of bad intent. A lot of them might just not understand what's required of them. If there's a lack of structure, they're just going to do whatever they want, right? You give somebody an inch, they're going to take a mile. Another constraint I would suspect is poor reward and recognition system, right? Like if employees feel that they're giving their extra effort and it's going unnoticed or they're not being rewarded for that or compensated, they might just start reducing their effort over time. This is known as organization in organizational psychology as the equity theory response, right? And so to address these potential issues, I do a couple of things, right? I conduct a clear communication reset, right? So a team-wide revisit to clarify expectations for hours, availability, and performance across teams. The second thing I would look at is the tracking software. Like, are they using the proper tracking software? Do people understand that they have to clock in and out, and they also have to track their lunches and breaks, right? So I would also make sure we clearly communicated those expectations as well for that tracking software. I'd also implement systems of accountability that are fair and transparent. This could be one-on-one team check-ins or clear goal tracking and feedback loops as well. Let them provide feedback on maybe how to make the process even more efficient. Like if you ask people who are doing the work, they might surprise you on how to make it more efficient so you're not even expecting as many hours. I'd also reinforce a cultural recognition of small, consistent efforts to recognize good work and increase motivation and reduce counterproductive behaviors. The last thing I would implement is I conduct employee surveys consistently and focus groups to gather direct feedback on the organizational barriers. This is crucial over time as we're testing because sometimes the root causes are hidden. And this could be because of outdated technology, bottlenecked processes, or just poor management practices in general. And I would also take a look at the leadership and supervisors throughout to make sure that they're also aligned with this approach. So while counterproductive work behavior can sometimes look like a performance issue on the surface, organizational psychology teaches us that it often could be from a deeper systemic problem within the company and its policies, its culture, and its communication. So by identifying and addressing these constraints, we can create healthier, more productive workplaces and ultimately reduce the behaviors that are hurting their bottom line.